Hi everyone, so glad to see you all here today. Beautiful focaccia on the menu today. Very easy recipe. In the mixing bowl down below we have 325 mils of water, and to which we've added 2 teaspoons of instant dry yeast in there, and then we're adding some flour to it. The flour that I've got here is 500 grams exactly. You can see my scales in the background there. 500 grams of flour in 325 mils of water. So we're mixing that through, keep mixing that, and then add the rest of your flour. What we're looking for here is a nice doughy consistency, all the flour to be combined with the water, and we get a sort of combined doughy type consistency. That's what we're really looking for. I have actually forgotten to add 2 key ingredients here, which you'll see me returning to in a second there. But you can add about a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil in there. Nice for flavoring, nice for color. And of course you need some salt. I would add in 500 grams of flour a teaspoon of salt. So even though I've forgotten that, but you can certainly add that before the dough is fully mixed up. So there you see me adding the olive oil and the salt, mixing that through, and then keep kneading that. And after a little while I just find it easier to knead on a bench top, so you'll see me scraping the sides of the bowl and combining that dough, and there you go, I've got it on the bench top. So now it's a simple matter of putting a bit of elbow grease in there, people, and quite simply just push the dough away from yourself and pull it back in. You see I've got a bit of dry flour and some renegade bits running away to the side, so we'll just grab them and get them into our dough. And it's just a matter of a bit of elbow grease now. You want to probably knead that for about 10 minutes. And there we go, so just pushing it away. I've given a bit of a break there, so that's after about 4 minutes of kneading. See, it's come together quite nicely now, and it's getting that elasticity that we want. So we want the dough to be kind of bouncy, elastic, sticking to itself. Here's another 4-minute gap, so it's now almost there. There we go. And so I think I've given it a good 8-9 minutes, but if you're kneading a bit slowly or new to it, then perhaps keep going for about 10 minutes. And after that, just want to put it back in the bowl, and then we're going to cover it with a damp cloth and leave it aside to rise and for the yeast to work its magic, and give it about an hour or so. And there you have it, just after about an hour of rising, and you see the yeast has done its magic. You can see beautiful bubbly dough, all the air trapped in there, and nicely elastic. That's just perfect and exactly the way you want it. Okay, so scrape any extra dough from the side of the bowl. Again, we got it on the bench top there. Added a little bit of dry flour so we can work this dough. Here you can easily use a rolling pin, but to be honest it's not really needed. This dough is just beautiful, very easy to work with. You can stretch it out, just use your hands. Roughly, I'm using a square baking tray, and you'll see that in a minute, so I'm just going to stretch that out. There's my baking tray. Put a bit of semolina on the bottom, that's just to help the dough not stick to the pan. You can easily add oil as well. And then it's a matter of getting your dough into the dish and just pat it down gently, make sure it goes all the way to the edges, and roughly about an even thickness around the bowl. But a nice rustic look comes through by just using your hands. It's not perfect. And again, olive oil. I'm sure you all know that I love olive oil. So let's rub that right on the top of the focaccia. What that's going to do is it's going to give it a nice crispy top, and you're still going to have the soft doughy middle to the focaccia, and so you want the olive oil on top. And once you've got that on there, some indentations with the tip of your fingers, going to give it some nice depth to the bread. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking basil leaves, half a cherry tomato, or little plum tomatoes, which is what I'm using today. You just put the tomato in the basil leaf and stick it into your dough. And so we're just going to repeat that process and add about 3 rows of that onto our dough. And again, you'll see that coming through in a bit. So there we go, got all the dough covered. Sprinkling of pink Himalayan salt on top, and also I'm going to add a little bit of dried oregano. That's going to give it a nice flavor as well. If you have fresh oregano available, then by all means that would be even better, but I didn't have that at home, so just adding some dried oregano on top. A nice little sprinkling. That's about, I'd say probably about 3/4 of a teaspoon with 2 or 3 pinches. You have to proof that again. So out comes our damp cloth. We've left that to rise again for about 45 minutes, and that's come together really nicely. You can see that it's really airy and bubbly, and it's almost doubled in size again, but looks really fluffy. So in that goes into the oven, 200 degrees Celsius. Leave that in there for 20 minutes, and oh, look at that color. It's just beautiful golden brown. Tomatoes and basil leaves cooked nicely, and drizzle of one of my finest olive oils on top. So there you have it, everyone. Really beautiful colors there. You can see the tomato and the basil coming together, the oregano, and really nice golden top to the focaccia. That's the olive oil we rubbed in. And here you can see the cross section, nice and airy, bubbly dough, just really nice. Smells beautiful. It's an easy thing to make. Please do try it and enjoy.